All right, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about the unsung hero of every great production, audio engineering. Specifically, how it works in a modern broadcast studio, which is this incredible place where pure artistry and some serious technical skill have to come together perfectly. Now, just so you know, this is part 5 of a pretty deep 40-part series. We're pulling all this from chapter 5 of a guide that's really aimed at engineers who are coming from an IT background. So if networking and systems are your thing, you're going to feel right at home with where we're headed. You know, this quote right here just says it all. Think about it. You'll probably sit through a video that's a little blurry or pixelated, right? But the second you hear bad audio, that awful hiss, popping sounds, or you can't understand what someone's saying, you're gone. You've already clicked away. Good audio is absolutely non-negotiable. So, keeping that in mind, let's peel back the curtain and see exactly how broadcast engineers manage to capture, shape, and deliver that pristine sound we all expect. And like any good story, it all starts at the very beginning, at the source. Every single sound you hear, my voice right now, it all starts as just a simple vibration in the air. The first, and you could argue the most critical step, is turning that physical vibration into an electrical signal, and that's the one and only job of the microphone. Right off the bat, engineers have to make a fundamental choice. It helps to think of it like a toolbox. You've got your dynamic mics. These are the rugged hammers of the audio world. They're tough, they can handle loud sounds, perfect for an interview in a noisy environment. Then you have your condenser mics. These are more like precision scalpels. They're incredibly sensitive and capture every little detail, which is exactly what you want for vocals in a quiet studio. It's all about picking the right tool for the right job. Okay, so we've used the right mic to capture that raw sound. Now the signal's journey takes it into the control room. This is the nerve center of the whole audio operation. This is where those raw electrical signals get molded and polished into broadcast-ready audio. And sitting right at the heart of that control room is the modern digital mixing console. And listen, these things are light years ahead of the old analog boards. We're talking about being able to recall every single setting for an entire show with just one button press. All the powerful processing tools are built right in, and they're designed to connect seamlessly to a network. It truly is the hub for everything audio. So what's actually going on inside that console? Well, it's a very specific step-by-step recipe for great sound. First, you set the initial level. That's your input gain. Then, you shape the tone, the bass, the mids, the treble, with equalization, or EQ. Next, you control the dynamic range with compression. You use a gate to automatically cut out background noise when no one's talking. And then, right at the end of the chain, a limiter acts as a safety net, preventing any super loud, unexpected sounds from distorting, while your loudness meters make sure you're compliant with broadcast standards. Every single step in this chain is crucial. Let's just zoom in on compression for a moment because it is so important. This image shows it perfectly. See how the original audio has these really high peaks and really low valleys? Compression kind of squashes that. It makes the quiet parts a bit louder and the loud parts a bit quieter. What you get in the end is this much more consistent, polished, professional sound that's just way more pleasant for an audience to listen to. So, we've captured it, we've processed it, now we have to get that sound where it needs to go. And in a modern studio, that means putting it on a network. The same kind of computer network you'd find in any office building. And this is where things get really fascinating, especially for all you tech folks out there. Welcome to the world of audio over IP, or AOIP. We are literally talking about sending perfect, uncompressed audio as data packets across a standard network. The magic that lets all the gear from different manufacturers talk to each other is a protocol called AES-67. You can think of it like a universal translator for audio equipment. This is the point where traditional broadcast engineering and IT completely fuse together. Hey, if you're an IT pro, take a good look at this. Does any of it seem familiar? Configuring quality of service to make sure audio packets get top priority. Setting up multicast routing. Using VLANs to segment your network. I mean, this is your bread and butter. These are core IT skills, and in the AOIP world, they are absolutely essential for building a broadcast network you can rely on. But before you think it's exactly the same as the corporate network you manage every day, hold on. There is one absolutely massive difference that changes everything, and it all comes down to a single word: timing. Here's the critical distinction. In a normal IT environment, you use something called Network Time Protocol, or NTP, to keep all the clocks in sync. And it's pretty accurate. down to a few milliseconds. That's great for server logs. But in broadcast audio, a millisecond is an eternity. It's a disaster. That's why we use Precision Time Protocol, or PTP, which is accurate down to the microsecond. That's 1,000 times more precise. Without that insane level of precision, you'll hear clicks, pops, and audio dropouts. It is literally the difference between a flawless broadcast and a catastrophic on-air failure. And all of this brings us to one final, really big thought. The modern broadcast studio is a hybrid world. It means the deep signal knowledge of a traditional broadcast engineer, and it needs the network architecture skills of an IT professional. Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? As these two worlds keep merging together, where does one of those jobs end and the other one begin? That's something the entire industry is working to figure out right now. Thanks so much for tuning in.